Hello, Arthur here. Or am I? How can I be sure I truly exist? How can I be sure you truly exist? Or that anything we see, hear or feel is actual real physical matter and not just a computer simulation created by an advanced civilization or humanity in the future or even a kid in their bedroom?
The idea that we're living in a simulation has been gaining popularity in the last few years, with video game worlds becoming more and more lifelike and the development of virtual reality devices. The philosopher Nick Bostrom has postulated that there are three possible paths humanity can take. Either humanity goes extinct before reaching her post-human stage, post-human civilizations are uninterested in generating ancestor simulations, or we are living in a simulation. Bostrom predicts that sufficiently advanced humans may be interested in running ancestor simulations to learn about how their ancestors used to live, and that billions of simulations could be run simultaneously, meaning it is more likely we are living in one of the billions of simulated universes rather than the one real one. Or maybe there is only one simulation and we're inside that simulation, in which case we can just as easily say the same thing about the reality generating us. There could be hundreds, thousands, maybe even billions of realities between us and base reality, nested together like Russian dolls.
Elon Musk has said that there is a 1 in a billion chance that this is base reality, and that we should be hopeful we are living in a simulation, because if not, it means humanity has achieved some kind of extinction-causing technology. Elon and his brother have also agreed not to discuss simulation theory in the hot tub. Let's assume we are living in a simulation. If so, how have the creators designed everything out? And how have they got the energy and computational power to carry out such an ambitious project?
I am currently playing No Man's Sky. In No Man's Sky, everything is procedurally generated, which means that the plants and creatures that you see were created by an algorithm, allowing 18 quintillion unique planets to be created, without the developers having to design out a single one. A similar scenario could be true for our universe. Rather than advanced civilization having to design out all the people, animals, trees, planets and stars, they could be generated by an incredibly complicated algorithm, allowing the simulation to basically run itself. To save space, the creators could make it so that certain places and objects don't exist unless being viewed by an observer. Our universe could have also been generated by simulating the initial conditions at the beginning of the Big Bang and being allowed to run itself, much like in John Conway's Game of Life. If you want to learn more about John Conway's Game of Life, check the links in the description.
One proposed way of obtaining the energy needed is through the use of a Dyson sphere. A Dyson sphere is a proposed method for obtaining tremendous amounts of energy from a star by using arrays of solar cells arranged in a sphere around the star. Dyson spheres could in turn be used to create a Matryoshka brain. A Matryoshka brain is a giant supercomputer powered by the energy of a star extracted using layers of Dyson spheres. These spheres would take in energy from the sphere below them and radiate energy out to the spheres above them, and would give the Matryoshka brain enough computational power to simulate an entire universe. Such a structure would build itself through the use of self-replicating nanobots and would reach all the way out into the outer solar system.
However, before you try and stop bullets mid-air or leap tall buildings, there are a few counter-arguments to this hypothesis. Some have used Occam's razor, which states that the explanation with the fewest assumptions
is probably the right one to refute such claims.
These people say it requires less assumptions to believe we and everything around us is real than it does to assume that advanced civilizations could perfectly simulate an entire world, there are more simulated beings than real ones, simulating consciousness is even possible, and that godlike civilizations would even be interested in doing so. Michio Kaku also argues that the computational power required is too great, and taking into account how complicated, unpredictable quantum mechanics makes the universe, it would be nearly impossible to simulate our universe using a computer, and is thereby very unlikely that we are living in a simulation. Some have even argued that simulation theory is not falsifiable, and therefore not worthy of scientific debate. Any experimental evidence proving that we do not live in a simulation could be explained away as part of the simulation's deception.
Regardless of whether our world is real or not, or even if it is possible to prove such a notion, it doesn't really matter. Not much about your everyday life would be affected if simulation theory were true. Unless, of course, someone turned it off.